There's something we are all reaching for. I feel it. A longing within us. I see hands outstretched, grasping for something they can't quite name. But what does it mean to find purpose? What is purpose? And is it ours to have and to hold and to make of it whatever we so choose? From within this experience, purpose appears as meaning, as a drive, or a goal that we feel has been given to us, perhaps by something beyond us. Purpose seems to descend upon us, and it shapes and colors our entire world. But what happens when that blessing is no longer bestowed? What do we make of our world when we, ourselves, are tasked with deciding for ourselves what this whole thing is about? I've been wrestling with this task now for 3 decades, in a kind of isolation. I was separated from the wider world by religion, and thus everyone appeared as either saints or sinners. But once I stepped into the world, these so-called sinners were like me, just trying to find their way through this thing called life. But as I stepped deeper into the world, I found I was isolated by other factors as well. And when kept on the outside, beyond arm's length, because of race or color or class or creed, or perhaps all of them, the traditions that were meant to strengthen the bond between these newfound neighbors became a barrier made of glass. I could see, but couldn't touch. I could dance, but it would be alone. And when those I may have called my own turned away from me, where was I to go? What was I to do with this cultural exile? But watch. Purpose was once given by our ancestral religions, spiritualities, families, and histories. It was the gods and the ancient spirits and the ancestors that held us together, along with the care for the young who would walk behind us, and the love for the elders, who kept the path open for us. But without these greater forces to bind us together, we would find ways to divide ourselves by any means necessary. If it wasn't the gods or the young or shared history, then it was country. And if not country, then state. Then county, city, and even the street on which we lived. If not skin, then hair. If not hair, then eyes. Then height, weight, and even the shoes on our feet. This tribalism is so ingrained in us that it can break a nation. But let's zoom out from within this experience. For a moment, let us be fish out of water. Who are you? Really? Who are you? As the purpose that was once bestowed upon us is ripped away by forces like greater knowledge, by greed, by algorithms, and by our unwillingness to contend with the seemingly insurmountable odds, how are we to claim a place in this world we can call our own? And not just in this world. That would mean that you still play within the confines of this crumbling structure. How are we to claim this very strange and at times terrifying experience called life for ourselves? And are we brave enough to claim the things we fear we'll never have? A better question yet is, why does it feel like these greater bonds and this structure are crumbling? We mentioned greater knowledge. As we learn more about the world beyond our small towns, cities, and man-made borders, we begin to find comparisons which force us to test the strength of our own systems and beliefs. What happens when Christ meets Krishna? Or when Muhammad speaks with the Buddha? What happens when frontier Americana meets the nature of the Native American? Or when those from the plateaus, savannas, deserts, and forests of Africa meet those from the plateaus, mountains, grasslands, and deserts of Asia? Do we build new purpose and meaning, or do we break? This comparing and contrasting begins to wear away the certainty we once found comfort in, and opens the door for us to begin to step away from our foundations. But this can make for shaky ground. And perhaps we then find ourselves drifting in a contextual ocean. In this new global world, who sets the tone for these relations? Is it the corporations, with their grand plans for our future and their incessant greed? Do we allow their hunger to shape our views on what truly matters? Is our purpose to consume and consume and consume until there's nothing left to shield us from the lack of meaning and purpose in our lives? Or will the tailor-fitted content feed keep you in a deep and purposeless slumber? I commend those who've made it this far. There is still hope yet. But now we ask, how do we define purpose for ourselves? My purpose is surely not yours, and the purpose of your life is not mine to bestow. But we share this world, and this history, and this experience. And perhaps the path we will illuminate for those who walk behind us is not to find purpose, as though it does in fact descend upon us, but to create it, as though it was always ours to decide. Perhaps the hallmark of our era will not be to give in to a childlike nostalgia about some once great golden age. It may not be our destiny to return to some romanticized past, or the good old days. Perhaps our monumental task in an age where systems and AI are replacing us in the places we've always found purpose is to once again reach into the depths of our human nature and discover what lies at the core of us. Perhaps our great undertaking will be to wrench away our hearts and minds from the capture placed in front of us and find a silent moment where we remember what it was like to watch a passing cloud, the wind rushing through us and in concert with the trees. Perhaps that is where purpose begins.